Hey guys, it's Vanessa. So we're going to take a little trip with Letecia Stauch to La La Land because that is where she seems to spend most of her time. So apparently Letecia is not very impressed with her current living arrangements at El Paso County Jail while she awaits trial for the brutal murder of her 11-year-old stepson. She recently wrote a letter to Judge Werner, who's presiding over her case, about some rights that she feels are being violated and some mistreatment that she is alleging. And I will put the link to the article by KOAA and the redacted letter that's been made available to the public below. It's basically just a laundry list of complaints and accusations, but it also gives us a very interesting insight, in my opinion, into what's going on with Letecia behind bars. So we know that a month ago she was taken in for a mental evaluation to see if she was fit for trial. And of course she hasn't had her trial yet and she is innocent until proven guilty. However, for those of us who have been following this case since day one, many of us feel that she has shown herself to be highly manipulative, a pathological liar, and always portrays herself to be the victim. The letter was written by Letecia on August 12th of 2020, and it was filed on the 17th. And this letter is redacted, which is of course unfortunate for those of us who want to know every single detail, but pretty typical. Okay, so I'm going to read the letter to you, and just a heads up, it is 3.5 pages long, so get comfortable. So if you listen to the full letter, please let me know in comments what you think. I think it's one of two things, personally. I think either she is becoming more mentally unstable or she's trying to make it appear that way. And of course, you guys, I am not minimizing cases of actual abuse in prison or rights that are violated. That is not what this is about. But in Letecia's case, when we see patterns of behavior, like I always talk about, it's really hard to take most of this letter seriously. The letter reads, "Good afternoon, sir. I thank you for taking the time out to read my letter and my concerns about an unfair process that is going on in my case. I have expressed these concerns several times to my defense team and feel that I have not been afforded my rights as a United States citizen. It has been 5 months and I've met with my defense team one time since March of 2020. It's the middle of August. I understand this pandemic is unforeseen, but I don't feel like I should be held unconstitutionally, denied access to my attorneys, have constitutional rights violated, and be abused in the process. First, as you know, there is over 30,000 and growing pages of discovery in my case. I cannot successfully participate in my defense on a phone call 3 times a week, 1 hour at the jail. I have no way to view any videos, read any reports, review phone data, etc. I'm not an active participant in my case. I know that the jail is listening to my attorney-client calls, as on several occasions I've commented about someone or something specific and the jail immediately acted upon it. Officers also wait outside the door, easy to hear, and sometimes a video camera is on at the TV near the door. Sir, these things are a violation of my rights. In addition, I have no way to write things down as I am always restrained, with more times than not causing injury. I understand you cannot tell the jail how to run their facility, but I know that I cannot ignore my rights being violated. Next, sir, I understand the 8th Amendment protects cruel and unusual punishment, and I know the Supreme Court says punishment can be just for the crimes. However, I'm in a county jail, and I'm presumed innocent, not to mention I am innocent, and will prove it. I've been a pillar in my community in South Carolina. I have no adult record, never done drugs, and have a doctorate degree in education. I've proven myself as a responsible citizen and should not be subjected to the cruel punishment that I receive at CTC. Over 15 plus times I've been abused in transport, ranging from injured ribs, knot on my head, several ankle and wrist bleeding, bruising on my knee and my cell, loss of feeling in my hands. Several times I've had to be on Ensure 2 weeks due to the poison comments, and just recently on August 11th, 2020, I received threats in my peanut butter because I provided evidence of not only my innocence, but evidence that will show who it was through my PI. As a result of this, I assume their runners use people in trusted positions in jail to send me threats in my food, and I'm terrified of what will happen next. I don't know how I'm supposed to properly defend myself going through this unfair punishment, being denied my constitutional rights, being denied access to my attorneys, being under scrutiny, causing daily mental disturbances, being restrained, causing injuries, and being denied law library access, etc. This is not okay in a country in which our country prides itself on democracy. A country with a flag that got a hole in it at Flanders Field in World War I, one that turned blood red in World War II, or the one that got cut with a sword at Chancellorsville. Through all of this, the flag stood. We raise her up every morning because this country still stands for freedom, perseverance, justice, and vigilance. And I know what Congress decided on June 14th, 1717, Flag Day, that it still rings true that not even the evil terrorists of 9/11 can take the American spirit away. However, I'm showing the same things that flag shows: valor, courage, purity, and innocence, to write you to say, I do not feel like a U.S. citizen being treated this way in my beloved country. I'm not getting a fair process, I'm not getting represented properly, and I'll give the benefit of the doubt of a pandemic, but the other unjust treatment is not the way that our founding fathers intended this process to be. Not to mention, no pandemic, no terrorist attack, no police riots, etc. can stop our country from being the greatest on earth, upholding the law, and staying true to following one's constitutional rights. This is just the surface of my concerns. As you will see, they only get worse with illegal search and seizure. I was a victim of coercion, and it's mental and physical. Sir, you can tell I'm educated. I know Miranda versus Arizona, etc. However, a person cannot perform under this scrutiny, abuse, coercion, etc., and that's what has happened throughout this entire process. Besides, due to the info from my PI, I don't even feel that El Paso has jurisdiction, not to mention the wrong individual. I reach out to you to let you know that I am very concerned with the process because I know that you will uphold the integrity of the court. The judicial system that I know does not allow a person who is presumed innocent, and who is, to improperly defend themselves, to be subjected to daily abuse and Eighth Amendment violations, does not deny Fifth and Sixth Amendment or speedy fair trials, does not interfere with attorney-client privilege. Yes, I can tell you many situations in which I know they are listening, does not physically, mentally, or emotionally abuse innocent people waiting on trial, does not allow that individual to be in danger, not just from inmates, but from employees also, and does not avoid these situations causing an individual's mental health to decline and safety to be at risk. Man, Letecia loves her run-on sentences. I live each day not knowing what will happen to me next, what person will put something else in my food, what rights I'll be denied tomorrow, or what injuries will incur next. I support law enforcement. I support our military, our country, and I know that a few bad apples incidents can ruin it for good people. I extend my concerns to you as a first step in this because my attorneys have refused to let you know due to the public knowing. My life is on the line. I'm innocent, and I'm ready to return home and use the doctorate degree that I worked diligently for, and cannot do that if I'm not afforded those rights. If I'm fighting for my life daily, I'm clearly no threat to myself, etc. Again, this is just the surface of my concerns, and ask that something be done so I can get this behind me, move past this trial in life, forgive those who persecuted and afflicted me, continue to be a soldier for Christ, and repair my mental state, and most importantly, grieve. I need those constitutional rights in order to be successful and participate in this process. I'm a prisoner bound in chains, like Paul said, but I know my Bible's not bound. I also know he appointed people in authority and to respect them because they are chosen to uphold the law. Please accept this as my letter of letting you know first, not going over the court's head, and following the appropriate chain of command. Something has to be done, sir. Thank you. God bless. Dr. Letecia Stauch. P.S. If there's any way possible to receive acknowledgement of your receipt of this letter so that I know you are aware. Just wow. So there you have Letecia's letter to Judge Werner. Let me know in comments what you think. This always makes me circle back to a question that I've had since day one. Was she always like this? Would you be out somewhere at a party and she walks in the room and they're like, oh crap, here comes crazy Letecia? Or is this some kind of mental break that she is having this mental decline? That is what I've wanted to know, because the outlandish, crazy behavior that she displays is unbelievable to me. I do plan on going to this trial. It's not that far from me. And I think this is going to be really interesting. I do predict, though, I mean, obviously we can see how she's behaved up to this point. There's no reason to think that the trial is going to be any different. This is at minimum the second time she's talked about forgiving people that have wronged her. I mean, zero accountability. But what's really sad is that with all of her antics and behavior that she's displayed, what really gets lost is Gannon, and that's what this is about. But she wants to make it all about her, and it's just repulsive, and it makes me feel so sorry for Gannon and whatever he went through that horrific weekend. So that's it on Letecia for today. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you'll be notified of my future videos.